Search on this command proxy list. Oh, there it is. Okay.
They're K.
Should I, as a cruise, be changing my skills at this point?
You may. It is an optional thing where you are allowed to, if you know that we're going on a mission to provide humanitarian aid, if there are other skills you feel of value to you, I think I'm okay with my skills. I will keep my colonist and airborne, patriot, demolitions, Minuteman. Oh, those are my goals. I don't have any of those. How about if I keep my skills of interrogation, MD, veteran, and sniper?
Interrogation and sniper is great for humanitarian aid.
Sniper, I'm not sure why I picked up sniper. I believe it's part of the DOC where there's one action in DOC where you need to be a sniper to protect somebody else who doesn't see the enemy as the drop on them. All right, so we will get started in 3 minutes. We're going to make one last pitch to make sure that I did not check my emails. I seldom check my emails on game day. I was out in the yard trying to get my animatronic skeleton hands to start working again. It's always a struggle at Halloween to see what...
serve as ceremonial bodyguards.
The only email I see from anybody is Fred saying he'll make it. And hi, Fred. I got your email.
Yeah, I was supposed to work 10 hours today, but I went ahead and said go home.
Well, good to have you, and at the same time, I hope your work becomes a little more stable for you as well. Take that off your plate.
Hey, Red, is it still acceptable to drop by on Halloween?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Might actually be free, and since we're closer, it'd be.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night, correct?
Yeah,
next Thursday. Yes,
absolutely. Bring Kill Dr. Lucky if you want to play a game afterward. That seemed to work out well.
If I only had that not in storage right now.
So you don't have that. Well,
everything's in storage.
Yeah, we can always pull out Milborn, but
there you go. I can crush you with that. No, I can't.
Play with teams maybe, and that way
Kathy will
be a little bit less stuck in nobody has the card to get out of where they need to be.
Yes.
Okay, minor side note. Doctor Who fan here who's listening to a lot of the British Big Finish Doctor Who dramas they do, and one I listened to recently, The Fate of the Universe was decided by a game of Top Trumps, which is a British card game.
Who was deciding the fate of the universe? The humans?
The setup's a little bit weird. The table, it was the high stakes table where you could bet anything and get anything. So this is where you could go abstract, like I could bet my sense of humor versus the knowledge to cure cancer.
Sounds like Red Dwarf.
Yeah, so they went a little more like that. So, it was the Doctor was trying to get the alien race to stop their invasion, but what he was betting was his knowledge of time travel and the TARDIS. And then the Doctor lost his hand, but then the companion jumped in with a double or nothing bet because she's it gets complicated. Once I start getting into that companion, there's too much.
Don't try to give me the episode. I was just wondering who they're gambling against. Is it the Daleks? That's about all I know about Doctor Who is Daleks are robots that look stupid.
Daleks. How about Daleks?
Inside a power armor.
Yep.
Those are probably a gnome inside a power armor. That would make more sense.
More of an octopus blob.
All right, so do we have Laura?
Yes.
Terrific. Laura, which of those 5 missions looks good to you? Fred is leaning towards ceremonial bodyguard, or an easy one after we had such a hard one on the asteroids, or bring the humanitarian aid to the blockaded
I read that as killer planet Lacerté.
And Tony said that he likes the one that's going to cause the most mischief. Mike, your skeleton doesn't have an opinion.
We get rid of the Great J.W.Walker and we get some new guy.
Duty roster tab.
Okay, we'll get J.J. Walker then.
Because it says.
Okay, we're going to serve as a ceremonial bodyguard during the peaceful handover of authority on Pluto Drive-Thru. So you would need to find the tab among the 15 tabs. I apologize for that, but
I see a freight bot escort.
the one that would say it's not Regulus freight bot escort. I don't think that's it. We're going to Pluto. Let me look real quick. Pluto is not on the freight bot. It is it the reinforcements? No, that's not where I'm at. And Camp Walker Giant Star, that was actually your mission. That one I can officially delete. Bye-bye. And command change. Yes, that would make sense. It is the map called command change.
I'm not seeing that one.
I don't see that one.
Let me see if it's shared. Not. Command change is private for some reason. Let me share that.
Oops.
And when it comes in, of course, it'll, despite what the man tells me, it'll reformat Epic Table.
Okay, and I see Alpha Rejectus. I see Pluto Drive-Thru. I see some ones that don't have direct wormhole routes to them.
All right, so there are Pluto's Drive-Thru is where the handover of power is occurring, I believe.
Still not seeing that map.
The current executive, the Great J.W.Walker, is being promoted. The squad is to pick up his replacement from Iota Widdershins, the Right Honorable J.W.Walker, provide all expected amenities during travel. And I go back to that command change. Let me pin it so I can go back and forth between it. And so we need to get to Iota Widdershins first. Is that actually? Oh yeah, see, it's up there in the upper corner, close to the. It's only two jumps, two wormholes away from Bogus Blue, and then we pick up his replacement, and then we take them 2 or 3 wormholes down to Pluto Drive-Thru. Does everyone see that direction there where it needs to be?
Which map are we on? Command
change? We are on the command change map.
There we go. Oh, weren't we supposed to do a PM cycle roll first?
We will. We'll make those rolls in just a second. I want you guys to decide what mission you're undertaking. If we all agree with that, then yay verily. And we need to do our squad overview. We need to pick up and count our fierce, counter inventive, counter spirited, and counter durable. Let's start with the good old fierce. How many fierce do we have around the table? I am fierce. And Laura, are you fierce? Of course. And Mike is, of course, fierce. And Fred, are you fierce or not? No. Okay. And Tony, are you fierce or not?
I am fierce.
Okay. So that is a total of 4. And then we go to inventive. I am not inventive. Laura is inventive. Yep. What about Mike?
Not inventive.
And Fred is inventive.
Inventive, yep.
And then that would be 2 inventives. And how many traits spiriteds do we have? I am spirited. Laura, he is spirited.
Yep.
Mike is spirited.
Yep.
Fred, are you spirited?
Spirited, yes.
And Tony, I think that's the one you're missing, right?
Correct. I am missing that one.
And then I am durable, and Tony is durable. I know Fred is not durable. Laura, are you durable?
Yep, very fragile.
Yes, and Mike, you are durable as well. All right, so we have a good number here. 2 inventives, so I'm going to give us our hull integrity back. That's probably where Fred was thinking that our ship is leaking atmosphere. And we're going to pick up the beep ping alarms, which is always nice to have. Another P.
Know what alarms are.
And we already have a journeyman cartel proxy, but we need to decide who the main mission person is for this mission. Well, Fred was gung-ho about this, so why don't we make Fred? Fred, you're going to be the de facto commander for this mission. You're not the doesn't mean you have to take command actions, but it just means your actions and your proxy are the ones that we're going to use. So Do you have any swaggering command proxy? I only have 2. I only have Tetraleague and Journeyman.
So that's under command.
And I bet you don't have that Crime Lords.
Grenadier locked. The Spirit of the Corpse.
Yeah, command is all the way at the end after Funky Powers.
Oh, command proxy. Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Battleborn, Mace Design, and Journeyman Cartel.
You picked up Battleborn, and you picked up Mace Design.
Yep.
And you have the Journeyman. Okay, those are our 3 proxy then for our group, N, P, and R.
Remember, I did that big business deal with that one lady.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we have a number of ship ones.
I'm a golden friend of the Walkers.
Okay. And I go over to the command change, and there's pretty much only one way to get to Widdleshins, unless we want to have Laura make a difficult roll to see if she can trip us there. Let me take a look at our ship again and make sure that we have... And we do have a trip crystal, so if we want, we can go right to Widdleshins, or we can go through the intervening Captain's Star, which has an executive spa of the Cheat Cartel. Do you want to go through the spa first, Fred, or did you want to go through, just trip right to Widdleshins?
So saying we can go to Captain Star, or we can go straight there. Let's stop off in Captain Star.
Yeah, why don't we stop in at the executive place?
Red, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
By us picking up Mace and Battleborn, does that mean I lose my Crime Lords and Tetraleague?
No, yours stays exactly like they are. You don't lose them. You just cannot utilize them.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can still pick up new ones, but you cannot use them. And the only time you really would use them is if you're covering for something you're missing, or if you wanted to use them when we have calculated actions.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Here's the rationale behind that is because you're not really the main guy that Mace is sending on this mission, your other faction, command factions, they wouldn't invest the time to monitor you or provide resources for somebody else's glory.
I see. Okay.
All right. So let me see. We are going to escort. Let me see if I got that. Lutein Star, Pluto Drive-Thru. All right, yeah, we're going off to Iota Widdershins. All right, I got it. There's actually another mission involved with that. And the intervening place that you're going to is Captain's Star. Let me open up my campaign map and make sure there's nothing really difficult about that place. And first encounter of the game. Does everyone have the deck?
Don't we have to do I do have the deck, but we still.
Yes, we also have to roll for our PM cycles. Thank you, Mike. My preventive maintenance cycle is a 4. Let me roll 2 dice and get above a 4 here. Or am I reading that wrong? Let me go back to my rules on this
Change
and go
the
down
deck to Era 10, right?
Yeah, and go back to my preventive maintenance roll. I'm looking. It is not under insanity. It is PM cycle consequences. So, as a player character delays his refurbishment and periodic upgrades to his EE suit, he will slowly deteriorate. Each time the character is pinned in combat, he increases his PM tally from wear and tear. The ref may assess additional charges, or the game will do so. So, at the start of each adventure, the player will roll a D8 plus his preventive maintenance. Here's mine. I have rolled a 3 plus my preventive maintenance of being 4 is a 7. I lose half my make rolls at the start of the adventure. That stinks. Also, you will not gain any swaggering techniques in Phase B.
Oh, God, that's crap. Can I just go get PM'd or something instead?
You can. The problem with that Tony, is the fact that there's a chance. For instance, roll me 2 die 8, and I'll tell you what would happen in that case.
Okay, 2 die 8. A nice average 9.
A 9. So you would lose 1 swaggering of your choice.
Well, that's not that bad.
You may go ahead and lose 1 swaggering then and reset your preventive maintenance to 0. Okay. I will go ahead and take the fact that I will only have it's a round down on my make roll. So in essence, I just used 1 make roll by starting the adventure. And I do not get any swaggering in Phase B. You guys can keep track of your own penalties.
I will lose
page 153 of the rules, guys. If you're
and Mike, go ahead and roll me a.
What does a 1 get you?
Yeah.
Well, what is your preventive maintenance currently, and add a D8 to it.
PM tally 1, so I guess I roll what, 1d8?
Yep. 1 plus a D8.
Just a single D8.
Mike got himself a 7. Mike, you as well. You lost half your make rolls.
No, I'm at a 13 actually. Heal negative trait B, but no swaggering in Phase A.
Okay, you've read it off, and
Bruce,
Silas,
you are that.
Do not use the 3 die 8 advantage for tin head swaggering in the entirety of Phase B. You will not gain tin head swaggering techniques in Phase B. It's pretty minor compared to anything else. And Laura, did you make your roll yet?
What if I'm at a 0? Still add a D8 to it?
Your preventive maintenance is you can go right to refurbishment like Tony did if you wish.
But she still has to roll a D8 even though her PM is at 0.
Yes.
Yeah.
So how bad is it having a 2?
You are at 2, Fred, because you were at PM1 and then you had a 1, right?
Yeah.
So Laura rolled a 3 and she's at 0.
Oh yeah.
And a 3, Laura, puts you at do not use your 3d8 advantage for savvy for the entirety of Phase B, and you will not gain savvy in Phase B.
And then I'm there at 13.
It's a good chance we're going to jump Phase B, except for I flipped the first encounter of the game was a 10, which moved us to probably at least a Captain star. So let's find out if there's any intrigue there that we can resolve, gain some swaggering back, or refurbish our boat.
Sorry, another question, Red. Do after these rolls, does our PM tally become the new number we're at?
No.
Okay.
It's as you get pinned in battle or as you suffer PM penalty, it slowly advances. You just need to roll it at the start of each mission to find out what your penalty is for the.
I was up to 4, and you said take 3 away for this 1 action thing I got.
That's fine then. Yeah, probably a personal event or something. If I flared it on during game.
I know I was getting up there.
Well, getting up there would be a 20 or 30, and in which case you might lose your ability to use swaggering for the entire mission rather than Phase B. Now this is not taking away your climax action. It's basically just affecting a certain section. We get to the relatively peaceful sector of Captain Star. Although they ask us if we can intervene and do
Red, I actually get to re-roll this because there's a note at the bottom of the table that Chimer characters roll 3 times that single D8. So I'll just do that in the background.
You roll 3 times and take the best result?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. That's sweet.
Okay, so I get a 13 or an 8. Carry on. I'll apply this to myself.
Okay. So the commander of the sector talks to us and says that he's, he has he would like us to come down and do like. Call. Yes, Fred.
Look on the comments. Iron GM wants on the call. Greg, the other Greg.
I'll get him.
Thanks. So at Captain Star, we essentially have the fact that the commander of the area would like us to come down and do like a career day or a plan your life seminar for the local young bloods. Fred, who do you put in charge of creating the slideshow and the presentation of this new?
Who's our most bloodthirsty?
That would be Tony. Well, it could be Mike. You could scare him with a chimer.
Definitely, Mike. You're on it.
All right, Mike, are you up to speed on dice rolls, or are you adding Greg to the game?
I think I've got Greg in the game. I cannot use the Fury Pip in phase A.
Yeah, did you? Okay, you cannot have the Fury Pip in this phase. Now, Mike, how did you want to? How did you want to do your career day / life planning of these young bloods on the planet? Did you want to have a mock battle for them to watch? Did you want to just talk about the?
Of course, I want to have a mock. I'm going to drill them. The problem with the young bloods is they are undisciplined gangs, and they don't know how to use themselves effectively. So they need some proper military instruction on how to be a cohesive unit.
All right, I will buy that. So what are you going to do then in terms of skill or swaggering? Or did you want to try to get a swaggering from this?
Ooh, do I want to try and get a swaggering from this?
It's
always nice, right?
TM bomb.
Show them how to make a TM bomb. I like that.
Yeah. You probably would. It probably would start some sort of panic if you actually. When I pause like this, I'm having trouble with my my fundamentals of Internet Explorer is giving me grief.
I will begin by teaching them the values of classical of classical trench warfare, and try and gain entrenching tool.
Okay, so you want to you're going to put them all to work farming in essence with your entrenching tool. Give me a difficult roll, sir. What level are you?
I am level 4, so a difficult is a 10.
10, and you pick it up.
Okay.
Very nice.
Hey, how do we fix the ship's malware?
The ship's. I'm looking at the ship right now. What do you see as your problem with the ship at this point?
I don't see any marker on ship rid malware C. I remember that being an important.
Yeah, it's not ready. The ship's computer system has got a number of problems. We don't, our sensors we don't trust, and the robots are not performing their duties correctly. Yeah, and for a large extent, we have to punish the robots or chain them to their posts. This crew unshackled is in.
That's a big one. That was a real important last time.
But if you wish, Fred, but we're gonna pitch the ball from Mike over to Fred. And Fred, you see that Mike has got people digging, or he's taking them back to trench warfare. He's in the middle of the mall there, and he's tearing up the streets with his entrenching tool. What do you do to intervene and maybe put these young bloods into a more lawful frame of mind?
I'll use my Spirit the Corpse on them.
If you want, you can spend your time instead trying to investigate whether or not you can get rid of the malware. I'll let you on a difficult roll to add that to the ship.
I'd definitely go for that.
Okay, you have like either robotics or programming?
I have task directed and Linux inspired.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a difficult roll then, sir.
All right. So it's 2d8.
2d8.
Probably one short. Level 4. Yeah, short.
And that would be a fail, I would think. Even if you're level 4, your roll was a 12. And so Fred was in the Tony. Fred, you notice Fred was trying to work on the ship robotics and the ship matrix. You can either join him doing that, or you can go down and try to either repair some of the damage Mike is causing, or join in the fun. And you're probably muted, Tony. Did you want to get entrenching tool, Tony, or did you want to?
Yeah, I will also look to help with the digging. Try to improve their trenches.
If you are level 3, it's a 12. If you're level 4 or 5, it's 10 on 2 dice.
Okay, I'm a 10 on 2 dice. 2 dice. And I picked it up.
And for me, do I have an extruding nozzle? I don't think I have extruding nozzle. Extruding nozzle would probably be the one I would want. That's E suit as well, isn't it?
Yeah. EE
extruding
suits.
nozzle is M. And suit M I do not have. I believe I would like to pick that up. And I will try to fill the holes as you guys are creating them on a roll of 12. And look at that. I got a lucky roll to start the game. I'm going to move extruding nozzle over into the plus category for me. Laura, you notice that Fred is busy trying to work on the ship. You certainly can work on the ship yourself and add a swaggering to the ship, or you can join the fun down below, so to speak. What would you like to do?
I guess I'll help Fred try to add one to the ship.
Add one to the ship. That's very nice. Which one would you like to add to the ship? Can you see that tab squad overview?
Yes.
Pick a ship function and apply your skills for me, please.
You did not succeed at reading the malware.
Not yet, no.
You know, we have all the important ones. We have coffee and soft serve.
We have a trip crystal.
Yeah. Of course, we've never seen her use it yet.
Did she use it last time?
Somebody fixed the hole in the ship.
Oh,
Whoever
that
did
was the human who used it.
Taryn.
Taryn, yeah.
Oh, look at the Chimer take offense when the human uses his term human. We're going to go, Laura, what I got you doing?
She's thinking.
She's thinking. Well, you probably have weeks and weeks and weeks in Captain Star, but
let's go with ship notates. I could use my telekinesis to make sure all of them are off the ship.
okay. So you're going to maybe fly a camera around the ship, or several cameras, since you probably could with your brain, you could probably have many different cameras flying around the ship and keep track of them all. Give me a difficult roll, and we'll pick up no taints aboard the ship. We'll finally leave them all behind. Look at that. We have left all the taints that we had picked up from way back at Mataka, and we have now put them on the Chic Spa Resort, which is really nice.
Man, we are nice.
One final roll for everyone. Give me high die on 2 dice to see who gets the opportunity. I'm a 5. It wouldn't be me. 13 for Tony. 14 for Fred.
Fred, can you make those colors a little bit darker for the for that? Because your
You
numbers
probably can
can't
put
quite read it.
black lettering inside of the
That's what I was
the
thinking.
teal color. Fred, you may roll a tasking roll. It is a 14, and very difficult, but on a tasking roll of 14, you have picked up proxy with the Sheik Cartel by being in this system.
Okay.
Did you want to make that roll? That
You know what, could I use a make roll?
you may. It is. I'm asking you to make a roll if you want to.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this the safe way, and
Because picking up another proxy for you and for us, since you're our leader, would be really nice. All right, I'm going to give you Sheik Cartel. So you picked up L now as well. You should mark your character sheet with that, and I have marked our boat. And we have had a splendid
Fred
time.
has to start wearing a turtleneck.
Well, you could start wearing a turtleneck. I don't know that we would find one that would fit your size, Mike. But could try. I'm trying to find the name of the person who's in charge of this place, and I believe I'm putting in the chat right now. You are a friend of this person of the Sheik Cartel, Fred. Just make friends all over the universe, you nice suave guy, you.
Yep.
Comrade in Arms Hudson. of the Sheik Cartel is the person that you can rely on now for that command proxy when you need them. I'm going to flip. We're in Phase B, and we are probably uneventfully moved to. Please get my command change. We're going to go ahead and get right to Iota Widdershins as well, and use the rest of our phases after we pick up the Walker replacement.
Yeah.
If there's no argument with that.
Sounds like a good plan.
Well, no, because, you know,
We'll have a better chance of getting repairs done once we have the VIP on board.
Widdleshins is spelled incorrectly on purpose as Widdershins in the briefing. It's actually, we went to Widdershins, and we found the person we're looking for, even though the briefing said Widdleshins. And when we get there, however, they basically say that they do not have a walker by that nature. So use your access data files. Does anyone have access data files?
Possibly. Let's see here.
I think we all have that as an action, don't we, or not, Mike? I can't remember.
Access
There's no
data
specific
files.
access data files. I think everyone has access data.
Now it's
not a specific skill.
Yeah, closest thing I could think of that's listed as a skill or a swagger would be C cubed.
You probably do have bureaucracy, Fred.
Is that under savvy?
It's a skill.
Oh, a skill. Bureaucracy, yes.
If you have the bureaucracy skill, I'll let you make a die roll of a 7 on 2 die 8 to figure out what's happened to the guy we're looking for.
All right, 2 die 8. Got it. All right, let me change the color while I'm here.
All right, and they say that the only way that you're really going to find out if there was a person to pick up was to go back to Bogus Blue and check to find out if there is an Honorable J.W.Walker and where he is located. There's lots of J.W. Walkers. The clerk is telling you. The Right Honorable J.W. Walker.
Back to Bogus Blue, huh?
So we're going to go back to Bogus Blue, and I will allow you to either use your Phase B encounters right now as we get back there. Not a bad time, perhaps, because there's not as much intrigue aboard. We have no NPCs. Or you can save it, and I'll move you right to Bogus Blue so we can find out where we need to go to find the correct place with the Right Honorable J.W. Walker. So do we flip encounters for Phase B, or do
Let's
we
take our chances and flip encounters?
From my standpoint, I'll speak as Skeleton. I would rather have the encounters now, as I said, without a whole lot of complications already on the mission. But that's just me talking as player/referee.
That's what I was thinking too. Just get it out of the way.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean, as you said, we don't have any NPCs or anybody on board, so all those intrigue cards become not much.
Well, they become encounters. They just won't necessarily wreck our climax challenges.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip a card for Phase B. Now, in Phase B, I do not gain swaggering. And for, I believe it was Savvy, but I'd have to check that again. A Maiden card. Let me look at my encounter sheets here and see what the Maiden card gives me. "16 encounters, a Maiden. Treats the card as both a 10 and a knave. The knave should always take direct action and force a fight." All right, so we get attacked by the rival of this mission en route, and but we end up with advancing to Phase C. That's probably a pretty good card combination. So let me see who the rival of this mission is. Oh, okay, so the unfortunately, the guy, the Great J.W.Walker, who is the person that was being promoted, he does not want to lose his post. So for whatever reason, he's fighting his promotion. Maybe he's dug himself a bit too deep at Pluto's Drive-Thru, or maybe he fears that you guys are taking him on will demote him instead, or maybe he fears that that it's all an assassination attempt on his part. But he has sent a android fleet to attack you. So let's do some combat here. I go to my combat tables, and we are going to fight ship to ship.
Board bad guy?
No, we don't want to. We want to destroy bad guy because it's an android ship that or an automated ship that we're actually going to be fighting. I'm going to give us a defensive modifier of 1 on this, and a target number of 2. So we need to get 2 victories, and we need to do them as a group because destroy bad guy cards have a condition, and we do not want the negative result of the really bad things cards to come up. First card flip comes for the party is a 7, but it is a Bane. Do we have that in our tool, Mike, or do I need to post it? Inverted Bane is as the regular card flip, so you'll need also
this table will need. Yeah, I see. This one's.
You'll need to grab the target of 7 and then immediately send this. So we're going to switch. I'll read it to start as the first encounter. Switch your controls to full manual and let the pilot do his thing. That's Laura. He'll bring us on target. Success for the command pip. Condition Fusilier. Does anyone have the skill of Fusilier?
Fusilier? I do not.
Skill?
Yeah, it's a skill.
Nope.
No Fusiliers. That would actually be a good thing because at least one player meeting the condition must attempt this roll, and failure here can cause a vicious wound or loss of swaggering. No Fusiliers around the table. Let me double check my character as well to make sure I'm not cheating myself here. Skill of Fusilier. I do not have the skill of Fusilier. I have core recon, but no Fusilier. All right. Going once, going twice, and flipping the card again. You're with us, right, Greg?
I am here.
Terrific. You do not have the skill of Fusilier, correct?
No, I do not.
Thank you, Greg. And I will go ahead and flip the second card for our battle here. Unfortunately, it is a 4, Bane. And the 4 card, why don't you read that for us, Greg?
Alrighty, let's see. Okay, we get 2 things. Okay. Destroy target 4. Put the pedal to the metal and hold a steady course with increasing thrust. Success for Fury Pip. Regardless, ship loses ship pav. Well, heck. Condition, skill power generation. Difficulty 11, advantage, funky reinforced synapses. Let's see. I don't have power generation. And I do not have funky reinforced synapses as far as I know. Where is that?
Funky reinforced synapses would be a funky power or an implant.
Right. So I need to roll 2 dice of an 11.
You
don't have power generation.
I don't have power generation.
Yeah. No, see, this is as a group. You're just reading it for the group. Does anyone have the skill power generation?
I do.
There we go.
That's 1. Any others?
Oh, I do.
Laura has it as well. Fred?
Nope.
Okay.
All the scientists ones.
So our 2 power generations, as the regular card flip, but with party failure also causing target number to board, destroy, or flee to increase by 1. So with each failure, we're going to unfortunately have a bad result here. So success for the Fury Pip. Mike, would you like to try this roll of 11? In order to try to get the Fury Pip for yourself.
I will let Laura roll first because she has the advantage condition.
Okay, Laura, why don't you go ahead and roll? And Laura has picked up the Fury Pip. You will be +2 in this battle going forward. Now, Mike, would you like to try rolling 11 for the Fury Pip? But if you flee, the target number becomes... if you fail, the target number becomes 3.
So that's more people to fight, and that's a good thing.
Well,
I'm a Chimer.
Oh,
go ahead and roll it then, Mike. Wow,
did
that was
swaggering technique.
terrible. Okay, well now we got a target number of 3. I might have to have Fred turn your suit off with the suit codes if we continue this, or ask him to. I'm going to go ahead and flip the next card for the battle. We have 3 opponents at -1 defensive modifier. How about a king? But it is as well a bane.
Here's the king.
And Laura, since you made the last roll, why don't you read that out for us?
Weapons Bay, arming, spinning, and launching various torpedoes and guided missiles. Success to lower target by 1. Regardless of the next half game, that's position advantage. Championship MACE sanctioned. 11 advanced skill.
We are not MACE sanctioned.
We are not MACE sanctioned O, and the only thing that could override that would be proxy of the assembly. So we do not meet the condition, but for the next 2 encounters, regardless, we can swap the advantage and the condition. And the invert of that is as regular card flip, but if combat continues, use plan go awry. So we are now on the plan goes awry table. Thanks, Mike.
Oh boy.
And here goes the next card flip. I got a 7 on plan goes awry.
But it's not a bane.
And Tony, if you're there, go ahead and read that out to us.
A 7, yes. Plan goes right. Find yourself out of the frying pan, but into the fire as you continue. Well, this sounds familiar. But as you continue to evade a rather impressive opposing battle plan. Success for catbird seat. Regardless, ship loses. Ship no taints. Oh, man. We get taints somehow. They show up. I don't know. Condition ship beeping alarms, which you now do have. Difficulty 9. Advantage tin head code patched.
Did you take the no taints off for me, Mike, or did that?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, you're going to gaslight me here because I thought I had put one on there and then I took it off. Well, now you're gaslighting me double. All right.
Okay,
so
I'll take it off.
Yeah, it's off now. Go ahead and condition beep ping alarms. We do have the big beep ping alarms, so all of us can go ahead and make this, or we can, if you have tin head code patched, you can go ahead and use it as the condition and use beep ping alarms with the advantage. So I'm going to start with myself here. And I can success for the catbird seat +3 on my next roll that I attempt. That would be pretty good. So I will use the ship's beep ping alarms. Do I have tin head code patch? I do. So I can roll 3 dice, or I can lock that at glorious on a 9. Nah, I'll just go ahead and take the 3 dice and pick up the catbird seat if I can. And I did, so I get the catbird seat in the next roll.
We also have hull integrity, so technically everybody could roll 3 dice if they wanted to, just to get the catbird seat, correct?
That is correct. Or the ship would cover for all the other ones except command when you're near a 10. Laura, you have beep ping alarms. Would you like to roll 3 dice for the catbird seat on your next roll, or would you like to...
I'm a mosquito, I don't have and can't get 10 head swider, so...
But you can use the ship to cover.
Yeah, but I can't.
You can either roll a 9 on 2 dice with your +2 for the Fury, so you need to roll a 7, and you pick up tin head code patched.
I can't because it's tin head.
It would actually then be a funky
list.
power T. What is funky power T for you?
Dreadnought. No, Macromancy. That.
I don't have necromancy.
Yeah, if you want to roll 2 dice. But it's 2 dice -1 because that was a fail.
Not even close. Yeah, I was pointless.
All right, so Laura's Mr. Roll, so nothing ventured, nothing gained there. Mike, what would you like to do?
I think I'll just go ahead and roll 3 dice for a 10 and get that catbird seat.
Okay. Mike has got the catbird seat. Greg. Morrison.
I think the catbird seat sounds like a fine idea.
Give me 2 dice or 3 dice then.
There you go. Only an 8.
And Fred.
I'm going to go for 3.
Okay.
Got
3
it.
dice with 10. Fred gets the catbird seat, or +3, and Tony.
I think I will roll 3 dice to try to pick it up the catbird seat. There you go.
Okay. And the next card flip, we still have 3 guys, and that result of a 7 does not get us off the plan goes awry table, so we're still there. How about a 2? But it's not averted, at least. Cheer victory prematurely. Success to escape this table and return to others still available. Regardless, ship loses wormhole priority, B.
Oh, man.
Condition, tin head, odor free, H. We do have soft serve, so we can all make this roll. I'll start with me again. So, do I have tin head, sparks, or odor free? Doesn't matter because we got the ship. So, difficulty 10, skill xenopsychology. I am not xenopsychology. If I roll a 10 on 2 dice, +3 for my catbird seat, -1 for the defensive modifier, I will need an 8 on 2 dice in order to, and I've made it. So we are now successfully out of this table. There is no reason for anyone to roll this unless they have the skill of xenopsychology and they can swap and make tin head, sparks, and odor free the advantage and try to pick it up. Is there any xenopsychologists in our group?
I'm a
I thought
xenopsychologist.
Are you, Tony?
I switched it with jetpack at the beginning.
That is pretty funny.
I thought, why not switch it off? Why not?
There's no disadvantage for missing this roll. So if you wish to pick up tin head, sparks, and odor free, you do so on a roll of an 8 on 2 dice.
Okay, I will definitely try.
Go ahead.
On 2 dice? Yeah, okay. Let's see. There you go.
And you have picked it up, which is very nice. That's odd, but a great kismet there. Still, we are off of that table. We're back on destroy enemy.
I felt like I needed to change at least one, so.
And and I cheated us as well because we're all low enough level that we should have checked an ignoble. I'm gonna check adventure when we did our lecture circuit for the kids.
Oh, I checked publicity for that. For
terrific. That's
teaching
a good
people, teaching young bloods how to
power for
French
gain
warfare.
the.
You most
chicken
definitely
connection.
can, Fred.
Would take fame for that at level 4?
For speaking to the can you, Mike?
Sure, publicity, fame. I taught them how to dig.
It's for level 4. You really think so, Mike?
No.
Okay, I was about to say if you wanted to, I'll let you check that.
No, I don't think I can check anything from that.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and continue this battle now, which is possibly going to kill us. Destroy bad guy, and I'm flipping a card, an ace, but unfortunately it's a bane. If you want to post destroy target ace, Mike, you can go ahead and read it out for us.
Fire on a set cue to coordinate an all-out attack timed to overload the opponent's defensive systems. Success to lower target by 1. Regardless, ignore the next half D8 banes. You're welcome. And treat them as regular card flips. Condition. Ship PAV Q, which we don't have.
We lost the PAV, and unfortunately, we've already passed the 2 encounters that we can flop condition in advance. The only Q that could cover for that would be Independent Buccaneers, which we don't have. Unfortunately, we've just, but as a regular card flip, but with party failure also causing a handicap situation corresponding to the card suit flipped. Yep. All right, so we have flipped a commerce card, and we picked up the bad thing from commerce of any failure on any attempt also causes pinned. Now, pinned has that double dose that you will not be able to take your 3 die action, but you also pick up a PM point. We're getting beat up pretty good here in this battle. Thanks, Mike, for adding an extra enemy. How about a 6?
Out of 6.
Sink their battleship, or at least destroy the most prominent and deadliest gun turret. Success for the catbird seat. Regardless, ship loses ship industrialized G. We do not have it, so no. Cycle plasma containment N. Does anyone have cycle plasma containment N? I do not. Does the ship have N? No, the ship does not have crew shackled.
I do have N.
You can actually cover it with tin head N, or Savvy N, or Funky Power N. I have no N's. So I cannot take the action. Laura, do you have any N's?
Telekinesis.
Telekinesis is an N?
Yep.
Okay. So Laura, you may roll. You have not used your catbird seat yet. You can roll me a -5 + 1 is a 4. You can roll an 8 on 2 dice to both pick up a catbird seat again and get Savvy Gun Honcho.
It doesn't knock down our target number at all?
It does not.
No.
You did have the choice of rolling 3 dice on that Savvy Gun Honcho, Laura, since you did have your telekinesis. But unfortunately, you missed. We go on to Mike. Mike, do you have any N's?
I thought she needed a 6.
Yeah.
It's a 12.
Number is 13 minus 3 for the catbird seat is a 10.
It's 5. It's 13 minus 5. She needed an 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, wait a second. Yeah, because the catbird seat and fury is 5 plus 1 for the defensive modifier. Yeah, you would need an 8.
8.
Okay, and Mike.
Well, I have cycle containment.
Okay.
And I have gun honcho.
All right.
So I'll just roll.
Did you use your catbird seat yet?
I have not used my catbird seat.
Okay, so the
if
roll is.
I roll this successfully and do not need my catbird seat on this one, does that count as a double catbird seat?
No, you'd have to use your catbird.
Darn.
But, no, but whenever you're in the catbird seat and gain a catbird, that's double catbird, whether you using the rolls or not.
Right, because don't we get that catbird seat times 2 choice to kill half of D8 enemies, or is that just in Outlands?
No, that's I'm gonna have to look it up what the double catbird seat is in Era 10. I'll do that while you go ahead and make your roll.
All right, 3 dice for an 8.
Oh, nice.
Didn't even need my catbird.
Didn't need the catbird seat, and it says that this usually does not happen in the climax of the adventure. Ref decides when to apply this catbird times 2. Catbird seat. Either way, catbird seat will allow the player to opt for safety. The player may also decide to take calculated action without the +3 modifier. Either way, if this next event also generates a catbird seat, the character in some cases will capture the enemy's boss even before his minions are defeated. Yeah, I'm going to call double catbird seat here would be drop the target number. So, Mike, did you make your roll? You did?
I did.
We now have a target number of 2 from Mike's action. Greg, do you have any N swaggering?
Checking just a second. And I have gun honcho.
Gun honcho, very good. Go ahead and roll me you did not pick up the catbird seat, I believe, so you need to roll a 13 on 2 dice. Well, 3 dice, because you have gun honcho.
There we go. There you go.
Okay, you get a catbird seat going forward. Fred, I don't think you've used your catbird seat, or did you not earn one?
No, I have it. I haven't used it. So,
okay, so give me a roll of a 10. Oh, I first should ask, do you have cycle containment N or any other N swaggering? Yes, you have the Battleborn. The only N
I have is Battleborn, yeah.
Yeah, Battleborn covers for everyone. In fact, I should use the Battleborn and go ahead and take my action. See if I can pick up Gun Honcho. Go ahead and make your roll. You've picked up the catbird seat. It goes over to Tony. Tony, would you like to...
I need to pick up Gun Honcho, so...
Okay,
yeah,
so you would roll a 13 to pick up Gun Honcho. Did you have the catbird seat, or have you used it?
I do have the catbird seat.
Give me a 10 on 2 dice to pick up Gun Honcho.
Nope.
And it comes to me. Do I have Gun Honcho? I look at my swaggering.
Oh, wait,
I do not have Gun Honcho because I had no ends. But I'm going to use that Battleborn cover. Thank you, Fred. And I will go ahead and attempt a roll of a 13 in order to pick up Gun Honcho because I used my catbird seat. And I rolled a 13. I am getting some nice rolls this go around.
Quick question, Red. At 4th level, do I get 2 attempts, or is it at 5th level?
5th level.
At 5th level.
5th level, okay. Got it. Yep. Thank you.
Uh-huh. I've had a lucky break so
guys?
far.
Yeah.
And I also picked up the catbird seed. Next card flip. Our defensive modifier is still -1. We still have 2 targets, and we get a maiden card. Mike, if you'd like to post that.
Sure.
And go ahead, Fred, and read that out to us.
All right. Destroy target maiden, hoping they have family or greater goals to live. Test their commitment by reducing the distance to the enemy railguns and yours to them. This may even minimize the number of weapons that can fire at you if you do it right. Success for Fury Pip. Regardless, the difficulty of any action on fleece space are reduced by 2. Condition traits spirited. Difficulty 13. Advantage head battle tested N.
All right, we'll start with
Just
me
pick
again. And I am spirited, so I can go ahead and take this action. Tin Head Battle Tested N. I do not have that, but I just picked up the Gun Honcho. Success for the Fury Pip, regardless the difficulty of any actions on Escape. We're not using Escape, so that won't matter. Let me see if I can roll a 14 on 3 dice to pick up the Fury Pip. And I rolled a 12, so I did not get the Fury Pip. Laura, you are spirited. You can roll a 14.
Didn't you get the bonus last time?
The catbird seat, you're saying?
Yeah.
I believe you're right, which means I now have the Fury Pip. Thank you, Fred. I also picked up... No, I rolled 3 dice, so I didn't pick up the Tin Head Battle Tested. Laura, you are spirited, so why don't you roll me a 14? It would be...
I'll give it a
For
try.
double Fury Pip. I got some chatter in the background from somebody as well.
Sorry, that's my wife.
That's okay. And Laura has rolled a 10 on 2 dice. And did you have the catbird seat? I don't think you're successful at that roll, Laura.
No, I did not make the last roll.
Okay, Mike.
I am spirited. I don't have Tin Head Battle Tested, but I have Gun Honcho. What is this? Give me a Fury Pip? Yeah, I'll go ahead and roll 3 dice for this. 16. I am furied, and I still haven't used my catbird.
Greg, you are spirited, correct or not?
Quick check, and I am not spirited. Dang.
I go on to Fred. Fred, are you spirited?
Yep. And I
Okay.
have 2 N's now.
Do you have a... did you make the... did you pick up the catbird seat last time or not? I don't remember.
I'm double catbird.
You're so a 13. Did you you would roll an 11 to pick up Tin Head Battle Tested on 2 dice, or if you already have the N for Battleborn, you can use it and roll 3 dice to pick up the Fury Pip. Is what we're looking for, Fred.
Fred, did you say you had a double catbird?
Yeah, right now. I picked it up last time, so I'm double, right?
So that killed. So the double catbird we're ruling in the battle kills reduces the target number.
It does not, Mike, because we're rolling for Fury Pip here.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Fred, you have you
said an 11.
It's a total of 11. Yes, you can roll 2 dice 11 to pick up a Tin Head Battle Tested, or roll 3 dice based on your Battleborn. You picked it up, and you also now have the Fury Pip going forward. And Tony, you are not spirited, unfortunately, so it's back to me. And we're going to go on to the next card flip, and it's going to be a knight. Destroy target knight. Exit the ship to lock in a clear target path, free of chaff and ablative excise. Success for the catbird seat. A skill jetpack. Who has the skill of jetpack? We should probably, a lot of us have the skill of jetpack, right?
I have jetpack.
I have jetpack. We'll
Mike's
start with
turn
me,
out.
okay? I got jetpack, and jetpack would give me the give me the catbird seat, which is nice. So let me see if I can get this roll of Tin Head Safety Override D. I already have that. Should I probably? Yeah, I probably should use 3 dice. It's a 13 to get the catbird seat. It is an 11 on 3 dice because I have the Fury. A 4 is not going to cut it for me. Laura, do you have jetpack?
hope you have jetpack.
Yes, I do.
Give me a roll of a 13 to pick up tin head safety override. Or you can cover with any D and roll 3 dice.
Nope.
And Mike.
I am.
Do you have jetpack?
I do have jetpack.
Terrific.
I do have mortar. Chimers treat tin head as suit, so I have mortar and gloria, so that's 3 dice. Now, I never quite remember this correctly. A catbird seat only applies to my next roll after getting the catbird seat, and if I don't need the catbird seat, it still expires, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I am not catbird.
Yeah, you don't have catbird.
But I am
Fury. But you can pick it up here. Do you have Fury?
I do have Fury.
Okay.
So I am looking for a 11 on 3 dice.
11 on 3 dice to pick up the catbird seed, yes.
Sure.
Okay, so Mike is a catbird seed. Greg, do you have the skill of jetpack?
I do indeedy.
Okay, so give me a roll of a 13 to pick up tin head safety override and the catbird seed.
And I think I had the catbird seat.
Okay, then give me a roll of a 10, please.
Alrighty, on 2 dice.
On 2 dice.
Pick it up and get double.
Boom.
Okay, so you pick up tin head safety override, and you now have the catbird seat. You were using it with the catbird seat, so we have dropped the target number by 1. If you guys continue to get the catbird seat over and over again, we may end this battle. Fred, do you have jetpack?
No.
Tony?
Yes, I have xenopsychology.
No jetpack. Oh, I'm sorry. You dropped your jetpack to pick up.
I swapped it. Xenopsychology.
That's funny. So you step out of the airlock with your xenopsychology, and somebody gently grabs you by the hand, going, "Your jetpack is not configured to fly out there, so we're going to keep you inside." Target number is down to 1. I flip a card. It's a 7. It's a Bane. And Tony, you can read that out for us if you would, please.
All right. Oh wait, I don't think we've skipped our 1 Bane yet. That was from way back where we got a regardless half a die 8.
This is where we get in that debate, and Rusty always convinces me to give you guys the benefit of the doubt on it. Is it you skip the next 2 Banes, or is it you skip the next 2 cards that if they're Banes? And we've always interpreted this as we skip the next 2 Banes, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then let's skip the Bane portion of that and not have a vicious wound. But go ahead and read that 7 then.
Switch your controls to full manual. Oh, that's the way to go. And let the pilot do his thing. He'll bring us in on target. Success for command. Success for command, Pip. Condition, skill, Fusilier, which I think we've learned that
none of us are Fusiliers. We've already determined that, but at least we don't have the failure condition because we ignored the first.
Fusilier guys, the guy's not here today.
And we got a 10. A 10 on destroy. And you can go ahead and read that out for us, Laura, when it's posted.
It's not inverted, but inverted same as regular, so.
Okay.
Make the navigator earn his pay. Yokes or bears or both. This battle might be a fate accompanied with every thrust or burn. Success for tactics hit. Condition funky precognition. F. Difficulty 10. Advantage skilled gambler.
So funky precognition F. The ship does not have flawless sensors, and we do not have a command proxy. So who has the funky power? That would be Laura, I guess, right?
Surprisingly, the Chimer does.
I have it, but I do not
I
have
don't have it. Oh, my goodness.
I do not have the skill, gambler.
So you don't roll 3 dice.
I guess there's no bad thing to me failing.
See if you can get a command pip out of this, because we can double command pip with multiple rolls, possibly.
Tactics. This one's tactics.
I'm sorry,
Target
tactics.
number's
We get
down.
Double tactics pip doubles enemy losses.
So we got Laura has made her roll, which is good, and I go on to Mike.
F, right?
Well, it's a funky precognition F. For the crew, since we treat funky powers as EE suit, if you have EE suit F, double precision targeting, Tony and Greg, you can also take this roll. But we're over at Mike for the win. Mike, do you have condition F?
I do have condition F, precognition. I also have a Fury Pip, so 10 plus 1 is 11, minus 2 is 9, and a Catbird seat takes me down to a 6. I need a 6 on 2 dice.
6 on 2 dice for the win. And look at that. He gave us more enemies and then won the battle.
Nice.
That was a nice little battle. It was probably enough to actually check combat. I've already checked battles, so I'm not going to get anything from that. It's not a cunning ploy because it was Q&D. I don't see any growth potential for me. There was no exercise prudence or judgment for me, and I see no publicity in defeating a guy that we're supposed to be lauding and promoting. So anyone else have anything besides battle that they think they can check?
Not really. Okay,
so if you have already checked battle, we're all out of luck. If you have not checked battle, you can check off battle. And we are back on the command change map at Bogus Blue. And at Bogus Blue, we find out that the Right Honorable J.W.Walker is at Andromeda, which is right below us. So we have to go to Alpha Rejectus and then bypass over to Andromeda to pick up the Right Honorable J.W.Walker. We are, your option again, Fred. We can go ahead and take Phase C encounters as we go to Andromeda, or you can delay them and take the move right to Andromeda right now.
We got to go to Alpha Rejectus first, huh?
Well, yes, there'll be an encounter in Alpha Rejectus, but it will probably be a positive one to pick up something like, swaggering.
It says Sports Book under Andromeda, Wildlife Preserve.
Yeah, it's a sports book and wildlife preserve, which means it probably has a hunting.
Yeah, we definitely want to go there.
Okay, well, did you want to
reject us first, then, and we'll take a risk with the cards.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and have those Phase C encounters. We can go ahead and Laura can trip us right to Andromeda. If we still have Phase C encounters, we would just do it by free fall trip if you want, Tony. It's a harder table.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
It's up to you.
It's up to Fred.
Well, it's in a way.
He's the leader, so.
Yeah,
would you want to do that, Tony? Just say yes or no.
I say yes, because it's a harder
since you brought it up. So Tony has recommended, Tony's character has recommended to you, Fred, that we trip directly from Bogus Blue because he's actually shows you on a piece of paper how he can fold that piece of paper, and it's closer if we trip than if we go through Alpha Rejectus, and we can avoid Alpha Rejectus.
Well, you know what? It's really up to Laura, so I'm going to throw this over to her.
Okay, and then Laura, the commander, comes to you and asks you, do you want to make a roll of a 7 and take us right to Andromeda?
Sure, I'll give it a try.
Okay, Laura, this is the first time I think you've tripped a vessel. It may not be, but it's the first one I remember. This could give you the check of your cunning ploys. If you make this roll of 7, go ahead and let's see it.
Let's see if it's the first one. 2 dice, right?
2 dice.
Oh, look at that. Laura. Oh, it's done.
She comes through in a pinch, doesn't she?
Can I check cunning ploys for suggesting it?
You may, but only if you make a roll of a 7 that you are very convincing to Fred, and you should apply a savvy proxy to that, or a savvy swagger to that, so you can pick up 1 of 7.
So it would be, where's my?
It would be something like Generalissimo or one of those other,
Yeah, I'll definitely use I'll use Warhorse.
Okay, so pick up on a roll of a 7 Warhorse, and then you can check your ignoble and pick up your ploy.
Oh, no.
Fred, I say the same thing to you. Go ahead and look at those savvy swaggering and pick one that's sort of convincing Laura, giving her confidence to make this attempt. And if you roll a 7 on 2 dice, you pick up that swaggering, and you can also check cunning
I'm going to go for the lock on Jive Evasion.
Okay, it's a 7. If you miss it, you'll lose it, but go ahead. Let's see that 7.
I lost.
Unfortunate.
If you miss it, when you're trying to lock someone's floors, if you miss it, you lose it.
That is correct.
Okay, well I've lost Generalissimo then.
Oh, did you try to lock it as
I was
Flores?
trying to lock it.
Oh, my mistake then. Sorry about that, guys. And we move on to Andromeda. Let's see the sports book in Andromeda. What's happening there? I need a third monitor to play here at 10, it seems like. And here it is. And it is a very patriotic system, but it is threatened currently by a blockade. It also has its matrix interrupted, so they can't get their sportsbook scores out. And it also has got a supply problem because the wormhole between, let's say, Kraus Australis has been interdicted by a foreign power. Let's call them Androxians. Ugly ones, but... So you have a choice, Fred. You can intervene to try to open up the wormhole route between Kraus Australis. That would be a hard roll because it involves Androxian fanatics. You can go into the Matrix and unhack the sports book problems that are occurring there. Or you can try to clear up some local banditry, piracy type problems in the system that's causing minor blockade confusions. Which of the three bad system traits did you want to try to mitigate? You can also say none.
The pirates, I think that's the easiest for us to clean up.
The pirates would probably be the easiest, yes.
So let's go after them because I don't have any real computer hacking skills.
Okay.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
Could we bet, like put out bets out there with another, cartel or whatever, and then send out false betting scores, and then so we win those the long shot bets?
All right. So it's an elaborate con, but let me see how this would work. So Laura would trip the ship back to Bogus Blue. We would place the bets, and then we would go back to Andromeda. If our horses actually won, we would collect the bet normally. If the horses lost, we would radio to Bogus Blue the wrong race results, collect our bet before they know that before the right results come. Is what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you may do that elaborate con. The only downside is we could possibly make an enemy of the crime lords, and I believe Mike is already friends with them.
Oh, and I am too.
So, did you want to propose this arrangement with the crime lords, perhaps?
Oh yes. Oh, they got to be in on it. Come on.
Okay. So,
scam.
What I'll allow you to do is I'll allow you to check an ignoble for the elaborate idea, provided you roll a 7. And again, you can either try to pick up swaggering, or you can roll 3 dice by applying swaggering to make it happen. And we can also add one, the equivalent of one ship. Probably there is one that's like money, isn't there? I can't remember what it is. Well, prize cargo. I'll allow you to spend prize cargo and pick up our PAV again, Tony.
Okay.
So you need to roll a 7, and you have to apply a swaggering. You can either roll 3 dice to pick up the swaggering, or 2 dice to try to. I'm sorry, 2 dice to pick up a swaggering, or 3 dice if you apply a swaggering.
Okay, I'm going to try to lock, or maybe not. No, I guess I'm going to try to do. You know what? I want Generalissimo back. I'm going to try to I'm going to try to gain Generalissimo, and I'm actually
roll 7.
And I'm going to make that roll.
Okay, and that would be the equivalent of picking up the PAV again. You then can check the ignoble of cunning ploys.
Absolutely, that's the whole point.
And you essentially have also allowed the crime lords to profit. So you should mark that down, that they owe you a favor of either something that can get you out of digressions, or you can.
Owe you a favor.
Yeah, you owe a favor with the crime lords. Anyone who's related to the crime lords in this. But back to the present situation, we're going to go ahead and we're going to breach. We're going to land and breach with jump and die in order to get rid of the pirate problem. Because I know how much Mike likes to drop from orbit.
Are you kidding? Mike has been hoping we would jump and die because we have 2 troopers entering jump and die who don't know how to use their jetpacks. And I look forward to seeing how large a hole Tony makes in the ground.
I'm going to flip a random card and give us a disadvantage. That disadvantage I give us is the fact that who we're actually jumping and dying on. And we're jumping die on Valor. So Ecclesiastic Zealous, this would be the second time we've done actions against the ecclesiastics, which is nice for campaign continuity. But one person at random is shaken. So I'm going to roll a d8 here. We'll start with my number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's actually only 6 players, so let me roll a d6. I don't have a d6. How about I roll this again? 1. I'm shaken. So not only did a eeny, meeny, miny, mo pick me twice, yes, I start this battle shaken. Jump and die. Now, jump and die is a condition table as well, where we do it as a group. We either get down as a group or we don't get down as a group. I'm going to just give us I'm going to give us a target number of 3 to get down as a group, but no defensive modifier. Or, Fred, I'll allow us to have a defensive modifier of -3, but we only have a target number of 1. Which would you rather deal with?
The later.
Okay. You want to kill 3 target numbers. Let's go through and start the first one. Do you have these in the table, Mike? Jump and die.
Looks like you don't.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just clip them and post them then.
Arm and hammer. More power to you. This living room all day.
Baumgartner drop. I'll read the first one. It says, fear of betrayal. That last near miss signals your position or plan seems compromised. I know we're coming. Success for the Fury Pip. Condition ship intruder free J. Do we have the ship intruder free? J. We do. So we all may attempt this roll. Let's start with me. Do I have EE suit star point overload? I do have star point overload. So I'm going to roll. I'm shaken, so it's going to be a roll of a 13 for me, but I'll roll 3 dice to pick up the Fury Pip. And I have rolled a 13, so I've picked up the Fury Pip. Boy, I'm getting lucky this game. Cancels the fact I'm shaken. Laura, we have EE suit. I'm sorry, we have intruder free. So
Laura
do you have EE suit?
Laura is away from the table for the moment.
Go ahead, Mike. Do you have EE suit?
You mean star point overload?
Oh, yes. Forgive me. Yes. EE suit, star point overload. Yes.
Glorious.
Okay, then
nice.
go ahead and roll 3 dice and roll that 11.
Nope.
And you missed it by 1. No Fury Pip for you.
I'm too busy watching Tony, who has
This
no
is just too routine. A jump and die on the planet with 2 guys without jetpack is just too routine for you. Greg, do you have EE suit star point overload, sir?
Let me check. EE suit star point overload.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. No, I do not have it.
Roll me 2 dice for an 11 to pick it up and the Fury Pip.
There we go.
You are the Fury Pip, and you now picked up a new swaggering. Fred, go ahead and roll me an 11 to pick up EE suit star point overload.
Alrighty. Nope.
And Tony, do you have EE suit star point overload?
Star point is
K.
K. Yes, I have that.
Okay, so you may roll an 11 to lock it, or 3 dice 11 to pick up the Fury.
I will roll 3 dice to pick up the Fury.
Good choice.
There you
And
go.
you have the Fury Pip. I have the Fury Pip. Tony has the Fury Pip. When Laura comes back, you snooze, you lose. Here comes the next jump and die flip. We got to kill 3, before we fully get down. And it's 8. I will cut and paste it out. It is not inverted. Sometimes the and pasting from the PDF takes just a little bit longer than normal. Go ahead and read that for us, Mike.
Soften your earthly target on approach or left behind with the mother of all bombardments. Success can continue with breakout or escape back to orbit from cutoff. Condition, ship PAVQ. We don't have that.
We just got
Yes,
that.
we did. We
just
picked
got
it up.
that.
Remember? The gambling.
Got it back.
Awesome. Ship PAVQ, difficulty 12, advantage EE suit, mortar D.
We'll start with Mike, and we'll go around the table. Mike, do you have, go ahead and let's see, success. And
I have that.
instead of continue on breakout, I'll let these drop the target number by 1. Do you have the mortar ability, Mike?
Glorious.
Did you pick up the Fury before or not?
I did not, because
Give me a roll of a 12.
12 on 3 dice.
12 on 3 dice.
There we go.
And 12 on 3 dice. Mike has dropped the number to 2. Greg, do you have EE suit mortar?
1 moment. I do not.
Give me a roll of a 12, and you pick it up, and you drop the target number. And Fred,
I have a D biofeedback.
you may use your biofeedback and roll 3 dice to drop the target number if you wish. 3 dice for a 12 or 2.
Oh my goodness.
Woo.
Ouch.
I don't think we've seen one of them in a long time. Tony, no disadvantage though. It's not like rolling.
I got rid of it.
task.
I lost it, right?
No. You're not. You were just rolling 3 dice to get the advantage. You don't.
Okay.
It's only if you test it to make it lock as glorious do you actually lose the roll by missing the roll. Lose the skill by missing the roll. Tony, do you have mortar?
I do not, but I would like to pick it up though.
Roll a 12.
12, and I have the catbird seat, so 2 dice have been 9, correct?
The catbird seat. How did you pick up the catbird
Oh, sorry,
seat?
the Fury. I have the Fury.
Go ahead and roll me a
Sorry.
10 then with the Fury.
2 dice of a 10. There you go.
And it is me, 2 dice to
And that
pick up more.
reduces it by 1 more, right?
It does, and 2 dice for me on a 10 to pick it up. And I have picked up mortar as well. Wow, we are just getting good skills this go round, and that ends the battle.
I know. To pick up the like crazy in this game, the swaggering.
Well, we have been, yeah. The luck has been holding with us. We'll find out if it in the next hour if it continues. We have successfully defeated the bad guys on this planet and ended the blockade. This planet, I'm trying to find my notes here. My campaign, and we were on the system of Andromeda. Andromeda is run by... Is it the Wormhole Cartel? Let me see who is the controller. The politics of the place.
This is green space.
Oh, Green Space controls it. None of us have any proxy with the Green Space Cartel.
I sure don't.
Fred, on a roll of a 14, you pick up Green Space proxy for eliminating one of their threats.
2 dice.
Make roll.
It would be the second make roll if you wish to make it.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll
Okay.
toss it away. I'm close to gaining a level anyhow. So that was green space.
Fred has picked up Green Space as well now, yes, for our group and for himself. And we move on. Oh, the Right Honorable J.W.Walker. We find him, and he seems like he's a pretty pathetic character to be taking over command at Pluto's Drive-Thru. Even if Pluto's Drive-Thru is a massive manufacturing center for all of the fast food in the known galaxy, we probably this guy, the Honorable J.W.Walker, he just he seems like he's just a gambling addict and a guy that hangs out at racetracks and has never amounted to anything in his life.
A typical walker.
Well, he could be considered a typical walker, or there's some sort of major screw up in Bogus Blue. Now, we are through our encounters, right? Yeah, I flipped a card that said we get the action and we got the advancement. So, Fred, you got 2 choices. You either go on to Pluto's Drive-Thru. This guy is happy to take the promotion. He just strikes you as someone who doesn't deserve it. You can either take him back to Bogus Blue and verify this is the right person who is supposed to take over, or you can just take him on to Pluto's Drive-Thru and talk to the Great J.W.Walker, who you now already have an inkling doesn't want to give up his post there.
Yeah, let me make contacts with my people on, what's it called? The Journeyman. I'm an executive of the cartel.
Okay, so you are an executive of the Journeyman Cartel, and you contact your own
That's what happens
people.
when you lock it glorious.
And you cannot lock command proxy as glorious, but you do have
Just
Journeyman
bad at
Cartel
lock.
R. And when you talk to
Okay.
them, they say, wait a second, the Honorable J.W.Walker, first of all, is not supposed to take over for Great J.W.Walker. This must be a plot in the assembly to replace a member of the cartel. So now you got two ways of handling this, Fred. You can either violate MACE guidelines, who told you need to replace this guy, and now it seems like you're going to have to replace him forcefully with the Honorable J.W. Walker, or you're going to turn it around and you're going to have to go back to Bogus Blue, find out who was the person who authorized this change of command, and either convince them not, to rescind. Yeah, you can either rescind the order with at Bogus Blue, or you can forcibly remove J.W. Walker.
So who are my guys with contacts to the crime lords?
Me and Tony.
Yeah. So we're picking up this guy with a gambling habit. I'm sure he owes money to somebody. They want to knock him off before he officially gets on board.
Yeah,
well, that's a good idea. Perhaps contact the crime lord to say, does he need to slip on, a rubber ducky and break his neck or something?
Well, the crime lords don't have an opinion on this. The Tetra League Assembly apparently is the one that was authorizing to put the puppet figure of the Walkers. They're not taking the system away from the Walkers. It's going to remain a journeyman system, but they find the Great J.W. Walker maybe is a little bit too restrictive with the Greenwich Chicken distribution. So they want to take that away from him.
And I was about to say, gosh, I have a Tetra League Assembly proxy. Could I talk to them to find out their opinion? But I think you've just told us.
Yeah, so Mike, you essentially have a conflict of interest here compared to perhaps.
I have a serious conflict of interest. My three proxies are Crime Lords, Tetra League, and Journeyman.
Yeah, you basically, no matter how you solve this, you probably are going to lose one then.
Yep.
Unless you want to drop out of the mission.
But Era 10 rules, if I drop out of the mission, I'm either just out of the mission or I never advance this character again. So I'll just stay with it. A kinder solution would be, instead of having the crime lords kill J.W. Walker, is I just kill J.W. Walker.
Fred, you got two choices here. You can either, the third choice is you just, you don't complete the mission. You just say we fail. But the two choices would be you either leave Great J.W. Walker in charge, which helps the journeyman, or you remove, which will take action, the Great J.W. Walker from Pluto Drive-Thru, which will affect your journeyman cartel proxy. But it is what you're ordered to do by MACE. Yeah. So are you the guy that's the MACE guy, or are you the guy that's the journeyman guy?
Well, I hold rank in the journeyman, so I'm going to go with what they want done.
Well, the journeyman would want to leave the Great J.W. Walker in charge and put the Honorable J.W. Walker back in to the green space place, because he's a perfect spy there, because they think he's just a degenerate gambler. And the Honorable J.W. Walker probably is just a degenerate gambler watching the green space in Andromeda, but there's nothing going on there besides foreign intervention that, like on their matrix and on their wormhole routes, and you guys straightened out the in system, the pirates at least.
What was the other thing that was wrong with this system?
Andromeda?
Attack and the Androxians are the matrix is down, so they're not getting sports broadcast, and the Androxians are blocking supply routes.
But didn't we break the Androxian with that fight that we won?
No, that was not the Androxians one.
Oh.
They were preventing the wormhole from being opened up and being used to Kraus Australis. What you guys did was you attacked the pirates in system who were causing the system to be at times blockaded.
Yeah.
It sounds like two things doing the same thing, but one is actually an external threat, one is an internal system threat, Tony.
I see. Okay.
If we could get the sports book back up and make this this Walker guy critical to its maintenance?
He might have to
Good.
stay.
Here, huh?
You could probably elevate. You could probably elevate the J.W. Walker guy to some prominent position. Whether he'll hold it for any length of time is
Long enough for us to get away.
Yeah, not your concern. You actually can leave Andromeda at any time, Fred. Don't get the impression that you're trapped there. You're a MACE scout recon ship, and you can go anywhere you want. The main problem you have is whether or not the orders you accepted of promoting the Great J.W. Walker and serve as his ceremonial bodyguard during the peaceful handover of authority on Pluto's Drive-Thru, whether or not, and it's even sponsored supposedly by the Journeyman Cartel, you either have to argue that those orders are bogus, which will take you back to Bogus Blue.
I actually have another idea.
Go ahead, Mike.
Too bad I've already checked cunning ploys. J.W. Walkers are all clones. Why don't we just take the Great J.W. or the Honorable J.W. Walker to where the Great J.W. Walker is and have them change outfits and hairstyles and ID chips, and then we'll just take the Honorable J.W. back and he can just say he's the Great
It is a good idea, Mike, and the two parties would both have to agree to it. Now, the Honorable J.W. Walker doesn't care. He would love to go to a promoted retirement position with the estates and the name of Great J.W. Walker. It's whether or not the Great J.W. Walker wants to become the drunken gambler of Honorable J.W. Walker, right?
He might.
He might. You're right.
It's worth an ask.
Well, yes, it is. Well, it's definitely worth an ask. And an application skill.
I might even be able to ask for a judgment prudence ignoble for it.
If it's successful.
Yeah, go ahead and ask. Let's go for it.
Well, I have a Journeyman Cartel proxy.
I'm going to need probably a majority of rolls from the group to make this happen. That way it isn't any single make roll. So
Sure.
Let's start with Mike. Mike, does everyone understand the plan? You're going to basically swap Walker for Walker, leave the Great in charge, but he has to change identity. So you're really convincing a guy to change identity. And probably every 50, 100 years, people do that anyway. So it isn't something that's out of the ordinary, but it's something that this guy may be resistant to. So, Mike, what are you going to do to try to convince him?
Now I've got to be subtle.
you got to apply a skill somehow.
I got to apply a skill somehow. Pack, airborne, brawler, bureaucracy, core recon, demolitions.
I'm gonna do mine
I have
with
a
tin
core.
head.
Huh?
When it gets to me, I'm gonna use tin head. I'm gonna try to make the robots around him just recognize the guy as the Honorable J.W. Walker, whether he wants it or not. But that's my plan. What's your plan, Mike?
My plan is to use my stentorian voice to be very convincing. Not sure. Oh, wait, I have funky emotions. That's
probably a better one. Give me a roll of 12 on 2 dice.
12 on 2 dice? Yeah, I'll go ahead and make roll that.
Okay. Mike has basically convinced the two parties to sit down at the table. Greg, do you hear the plan in action?
Okay, yep. We've convinced the two parties to sit at the table.
Okay, and so now we have to convince them to swap roles. And the Paul McCartney, the real Paul McCartney, is resistant towards stepping out of the Beatles and letting the winner of the Paul McCartney lookalike contest take over for him.
Okay.
So what do you want to do?
Am I allowed to use swaggerings, or is this a skill thing?
Yeah, you should definitely apply skill, swaggering, or whatever you have.
Well, I've got stentorian voice. I'm going to speechify at him and try to convince him.
Mike, that was the one you used, right?
No, I changed to emotions.
That's going to be a tasking roll if you're just going to speechify him there, Greg. That would be a 14. Can you add something else from your repertoire of skills to maybe bring it down to a difficult?
Yeah, hostage negotiator or protocol.
I have drive evasion. I can knock down his excuses.
That'll work. Give me a roll of a 12 on 2 dice to see if you can convince the guy. Or do you have a third skill that you apply and maybe bring it to a 7, ordinary?
I'm taking a look.
How about protein calm?
Shoot, if I realized we could change.
Where is that?
It's savvy K.
Savvy K. What have I got? No, I've got Star Point Overload. That's the only K I have. I've got Tetra League under command. I don't know how I'd use that. I mean, I've got, you know, stuff like Dreadnought and Gun Honcho and Safety Override, but he's not a bot. So.
No, he's not a bot. And the Safety Override, you could possibly manipulate his personal bodyguard of androids with that, but it doesn't sound like anything convincing. It sounds like a roll of 12, Greg.
Like 12, yep.
Did you want to try a make roll on that, or did you want to try to make? And there it is. All right, we got 1 success and 1 fail. We're still looking for a majority rule here. Fred, what do you want to do to try to convince the 2 men to swap positions? And
I'm going to use bureaucracy, hostage negotiator, protocol.
That would get okay. So you have first. You're going to start with your tasking roll of bureaucracy, and then you're going to apply what to it? What's the next skill?
Let's see. We'll go with hostage negotiator.
Got it. Okay, so you're not threatening the 2 men, but you're amping up the negotiation between the 2 men. For instance, you might be telling the Great J.W.Walker that his 15 wives actually are going to go with the other guy instead. And he might think, well, that's probably pretty good. So now it's a roll of a 12. So what are you going to do to bring it to a 7? What's your next skill?
I'm going to go with preeminent.
Preeminent. Perfect. Give me a roll of a 7 on 2 dice. And we are in the plus category towards successes of making these 2 men agree.
Ooh, just got it.
Just got it is just enough. Tony, how are you going to get the 2 men to agree to swap roles?
Well, you all mocked me for my xenophysiology, or for my xenopsychology. So I'm going to use that.
Okay.
Starting. Then I'm going to also use my esprit de corps to really get him, behind the idea. Do it for the right reason.
It's now a 12.
And then I'm going to use my generalissimo to motivate him to do so.
All right, I'll give you that. Give me a 7 on 2 dice.
There you go. Oh, no.
All right, we're 2 down and 2 up, so we're at a split here. It comes to me. I'm gonna do it all with Tin Head. So first of all, I'm gonna take the entourage of the 2 men. The honorable guy has a small entourage of robots. You know, he has his Palm Pilot probably to keep track of his track scores and his betting sequences. And the other guy has a whole station that supports him at Pluto Drive-Thru. And I will reboot them both. And then I will take off the safety overrides, make sure there's no blue smoke, and that'll probably bring me to a 12 roll. And then I will replace the code, because I have both code patched and Linux inspired. Forgive my tongue-tied there. And I will try a 7 on 2 dice to basically change the robotic lives of both men. And good enough is just good enough. So I am successful. And Laura, you will be the deciding case here. If you are successful in your approach, we have done so. And Mike, perfect idea. If you are unsuccessful, then we have to go to Plan B, which is always somebody must die. So Laura, to avoid the death, how do you convince 2 men to exchange lives?
I'm going to use holograph imager to make them appear as each other. So their entourage start treating them as each other.
Yeah, I'm not. It's holographic imager. I don't follow how that could be useful in this. Go ahead and sell me a little better on that.
I use it to make them appear as each other. I know they're clones, but they still have differences.
So you're going to use the holographic image
there the whole time.
Maybe
she wants to show Honorable how good he'll look with Great's haircut.
Maybe you could use the holographic imager to have holographic witnesses to the exchange and sell it on the larger scale. I could probably buy that aspect if that's what you.
That's gonna have their entourages would treat them as each other.
Got it. Okay, so you're at a tasking roll, and what's next?
And can I use neural shock to confuse them
Sure.
maybe make them think they're each other?
Yeah, absolutely.
That was the other half of my
Okay, that brings it to a 12. Go ahead and add one more to it. Come on, you got a lot of funky powers here. You can find something you can convince
What
two men
skills do you have?
switch roles.
Well, Mike already used emotions. I can't use emotions then, right?
Mike, did you use emotions?
I did.
Okay, yeah, you shouldn't use emotions again. How do you convince the guy's dog to go along with it?
Funky dust?
Sure, funky does absolutely just confuse the thing. Give me a roll of a 7 for the win, Laura. You can make roll if you wish.
I should have made roll.
It's a bust, guys.
You know
Okay,
why?
so
Because
close.
Laura's plan was to force them to swap clothes and then neural shock them to make them think they're each other, and then she tried to drug them. She just undercut this nice negotiation at the very
No, I think it was the dog. When the dog ran into the scene, we knew we were doomed.
Okay.
You know. All right, so
That's funnier than blaming Laura.
Came close. We came pretty close.
Mike, I'm going to give you half a step there toward cunning ploys because that was well thought of and very much in the Irritan spirit. But it the great J.W. Walker at the last second says, "I cannot give up my command. I worked so hard," and Pluto's Drive-Thru
Sure.
to this guy.
It's a prudence though, because I already had the cunning ploys.
I'll give you half the move toward prudence though that you tried to avoid gunfire with all this. Hey, well, I'm back to the leader, Fred. Fred, they're not going to swap amicably. So
Yeah, I got a plan for this.
Okay, go ahead. What would you want to do,
to
sir?
saboteur all the recording equipment and lights,
Okay.
and then somebody else can take care of it because the plan B somebody dies.
I got you covered there. I am a crack shot, an assassin's eye.
All right,
I
so
can do
I'm gonna
this.
go for the saboteur and tin heads.
Okay, so what you're saying is we're going to make the swap ourselves. And so we're going to try to put out the lights for a moment, stop the doors from working so the guy can't flee, and then we're going to have to sedate him somehow. Sedate him somehow or capture him somehow, right? Or put him down. It's up to you.
I am the hatchet man.
Yeah, we'll take care of it. I'm gonna knock the lights out and then take out the cameras, and you guys do whatever.
All right, give me. We'll start with you, Fred. Give me a roll of 7 to go ahead and isolate our swap out room because we already had them agree to a sit down. So give me a roll of 7, sir.
Oh yes.
7 is good enough, okay? And then I go on to Tony. Tony, how are you going to immobilize the great J.W. Walker?
I gotta mobilize him.
You can immobilize him by taking off his head if that's your option.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these things sometimes happens. People's heads explode. I don't know why.
What powers are you going to use for that, or what swag?
I was going to use DP targeting and crack shot.
Give me a roll of a 7 to immobilize this man by separating his spine from his body.
2 dice of a 7.
Don't you have a shooting nozzle?
Doubled up.
All right. Well, there's probably enough material to clone him again from him. But yeah, so Fred has isolated the situation from the outside world, essentially making this our endeavors a secret. And Tony has taken the great J.W. Walker and brought him, taken him out of the picture. Now we have to deal with robots and their loyalty. The honorable guy, whether or not he wants to have the role now that he sees that the guy who he's taken it from was assassinated, and then also we'd have to deal with the guy's dog. So I go on. I'm going to skip me, and I'm going to go on to Laura.
Just had a quick idea. It's a quick question. Could we now have Laura use her holographic imager and make it seem like he's still there and he agrees to the change?
Sure, and I
we'll
will
still have to take out the dog.
I will let you cancel the dog aspect rather than I would not want you to hurt the dog anyway. You can have the holographic image basically confuse the animal or make the animal think that it's walk time and it's out of the picture for the moment. Laura, give me a roll of a 7. Okay, we've taken the dog as an obstacle out of the picture. I go to Mike. Mike, how do you deal with his robot entourage? Or how do you deal with the convincing the Honorable J.W.Walker that he now is the Great J.W.Walker?
Oh, I will leave Tony with his xenopsychology to do the convincing.
Tony's already acted.
No, what is it? Take care of the robots or convince the guy?
Yes.
To do the other guy. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and shut the robots down with some power generation.
Okay, give me a roll of 7.
Rolled a 10.
It's not bad.
Or I could shut the robots down with direct plasma.
And we have okay, and we have finally the honorable guy. How we're going to convince the honorable guy to take his place. Greg, how do you convince the honorable J.W. Walker to assume the persona of the great J.W. Walker?
Oh gosh.
Interrogation?
Man, I don't have a lot of anything. I mean, I mean, outside of threats, or you know,
you can always knock him out.
Well,
he is a degenerate gambler.
Can you blackmail him some way?
Oh,
yeah,
just
you either blackmail him some way, or maybe bet him.
So on what the heck is risorgimento?
That's a patriot, is in Italian. So
Okay.
you can call it the skill of patriot, which means you can use your appeals to patriotism, or you can inspire yourself in your own with your own patriotism.
Well, I can use an appeal to patriotism to get him to do this. I'm not sure that really works, but
Yeah, I'll give you a roll of 7 on it. Go ahead.
all righty, here we go. Yeah.
Okay, so this guy's not a patriot; he's a mercenary.
Yeah.
And I go on to Fred has already taken actions. Tony has already taken action. It's up to me for the win. I do have interrogation, Fred. What did you think that interrogating would do? Did we just want to thumb screw the guy, or did we just want to basically read him the riot act?
Do you have any funkies?
I'm not a guy that has funkies.
Oh, that's right.
But I do have drive evasion. I have the persona of a dreadnought. I have protean calm, esprit de corps, assassin's eye, better valor. How about better valor? Maybe I could just convince him that what else is he going to do? If he decides to flee the job a year from now, he's going to be no worse off than he is, right? I've appealed to him rationally.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, it's going to be a 7 for the win. I think we both can see that 4 that came up on the screen. This would be a time as well, and maybe a make.
Time for Plan C.
All right, time for Plan C.
I have chameleon skin under funky. I could become the guy for a couple months or something.
Okay, well, so you now are going to become a J.W. Walker, the great J.W. Walker, and impersonate him, because the other guy, I think we're trying to put in the smoothie maker by now, or into the trash compactor, get his body out of the way. So we basically still, since we didn't get the easy solution, I'm going to make you do that. I'm going to make you do 2 other of the climax challenges rather than 3. You basically figured out that the guy doesn't want to be promoted, but we need to break down the barrier to his private chambers, his subsection of the base. We need to get in there. We need to start messing with the computer codes on everything, and basically just scramble Pluto's drive-in for a little bit, put it into chaos so that we can get away and claim that the mission was successful. Maybe the guy was murdered in the riots that ensued. But to break that down, you need to use a calculated action and breach. So let me go into my tables here and see what we can breach with under calculated actions.
A, H, J, A, H, and J.
All right, the breach, A, H, and J. So does anyone have any A, H's, or J's? And besides that, you want to pick one from a category where you have a lot of other swagger with it.
I have 19 EE suit swaggers. I have all 3 of the EE suits, A, H, and J. And I have ordnance, which is A at glorious.
Okay, so let's look at the 19 first. Unless you have the table in front of you, Mike. What's the bonus for that? Is that +4?
+4.
Or is it? Okay, so you get +4 for having multiple EE suits, and then you also have 3 other A's. You're saying?
I have 1 other A, I have 1 other H, and I have 1 other J.
Okay, so it's going to be +5.
Mm-hmm.
Give me 2 dice +5, Mike, to break into the guy's private quarters.
15.
A 15 as you lose the swaggering.
Not if it's glorious.
Not if it's glorious. That's correct. Not high enough. Okay, that was close.
Oh, well, darn it. I should have gone with H because H would have been successful.
Because you had +1 more, or H is a different table?
H is okay, so on A...
Yeah, H, a 15 or
is
better
lose
gains the
swaggering.
breach.
On H, you breach, and on J, you would lose the swaggering. So it looks like H is the most advantageous roll. You only need to do a 15, not a 16.
H. Does the ship have an H?
The ship.
Yes, the soft serve dispenser. Okay, so we're going to basically bribe the people inside, open up with displays of ice cream ability. This is where the game gets fanciful in some degree, but we're going to go ahead and all go around the table and we're going to roll on the H, at least if we don't lose it. Let's start with, who's Mike? I know Fred. Who should try next? Fred, did you want to try or not?
Okay, we're trying to get in still? Okay.
Yeah, we're still trying to get in, and we're on a table that's on page 135, table H. So... do you have plasma torch? Do you have sparks odor free of tin head? Are you a hatchet man?
Yeah, I'm sparks odor free glorious.
Do you have ab zero cryonics as funky powers? You have the soft serve dispenser and a proxy with the crime lords. Who has the proxy with the crime lords? Yeah, H would have been a good one for
Mike
you.
Mike and I do.
Fred, you do not need to make this roll. You can delegate it to somebody else to start with.
Delegate one of the crime lord guys.
Okay, so Tony.
Okay, I am...
on table H, how many of those swaggering do you have, sir?
I have Sparks Odor Free, I have Hatchet Man, I have Soft Serve, or the ship has Soft Serve, and we have Crime Lord. So I'm a +3 from that.
Okay.
I have 10, there's 10 ship ones, which are +2. So it gives me a total of +5, right?
+5, give me 2 dice +5.
Okay, this is...
Make roll. You're still looking for a 15 or 16.
Or no, you're going to have to roll it. Or you're going to have to lose soft serve from this if you roll badly.
8 + 5, 13. Damn it. Sorry, guys.
We lost the soft serve in that
I
attempt.
would give them the soft serve and they closed the door.
They ate, and they enjoyed, and then we found out that there was no more ice cream. Probably one way to interpret that is the fact that the ice cream would not be enough to get them to open the door. So we don't have an H in the ship. I do not have any H's. I do have I do have 2 A's. Should I try my A's, Fred, or did you? Who do you want to try next to get the door open?
You know what? Why don't you try your A's? As I'm thinking, one of them is Grenadier?
Grenadier, yes, I'm a savvy Grenadier. That is correct.
Yeah, why don't you try to blow the door open?
Okay, I don't have either A locked as glorious. So what were the other letters, Mike? Just
A, J, and A-H, and J.
A-H, and J. I have none of those locked as glorious. So, yeah, the commander has ordered me to use my Grenadier skill. Let me see how many of those I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I'm sorry,
6,
I also lie. There's also Q.
10. I do not have any Qs locked as glorious. 10. 10 is a +2. Is that correct, Tony?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so I've got a Ordnance A, and we got a Zilchalines A, so I am basically +4 on rolling for the A.
Pass. It's going to be way too...
You need a 12 or higher.
Yeah, I need a 12 for higher. Do you want to see if Greg or Laura has something better, Fred? Before, or do you want me to just go ahead and try my roll?
Well, it's up to you if you want to take the chance because you
I'm
lose
+4. Right? If I roll average, all I am is shaken or pinned. If I roll poorly and just miss it is how I lose my swaggering.
Go
Go
Yes,
for it.
up to
Okay,
you.
here comes my 2 dice roll. I'm +4 to the roll. I will apply my Fury Pip because I am spirited. So I'm +6 to the roll. And here it comes. Did it show up?
5 and 6 is an 11. You are pinned.
11. That is about as bad as it gets. At least I didn't lose any of my swaggering. But I go to throw those grenades to breach the door, and I freeze up. And after Mike comes up and embarrasses me, but saves my life by putting the pins back in the grenades and safing me and putting me to the side, because I've just basically locked up at the pressure of this. Fred, you got yourself and you got Laura and
You know,
Greg.
I'm gonna go for it. I got 2 A's at Glorious,
Okay.
Ordnance, and Grenadier.
Well, you might as well try Ordnance then, since you can't lose it.
Yeah. And
All right.
then
How many EE suit do you have, Fred?
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just scroll down a little bit here. 7.
7. 7
Plus
is
one bonus.
+1 or +2?
+1.
+1 for the number that you have. Do you have more swaggering? What's the cutoff?
I have
Mike?
H, Sparks, Odor
Thank you, Mike.
free at Glorious. And what was the other column?
A, H, J, and Q, of which H and J are slightly easier rolls. You only need
Under
a 50.
Q, I have preeminent. So I'll throw that in. So that's that was 2 more.
A Q has a longer loose swaggering, but if you're rolling at locked as glorious, you probably should do your Q as preeminent. Then I would ask you, how many other Qs do you have?
No, I just have the one in this, not glorious.
You have preeminent, and preeminent is not glorious. Is that correct?
Yeah, just preeminent.
Yeah, don't risk that. Well, you do have Pav with the ship. So H's. How many H's do you have, Fred?
H. Let's see here. I have just the one at glorious.
You have hydraulic press.
Sparks odor free.
Sparks odor free. I'm not reading. Oh, I'm on the wrong category. Sorry. Sparks odor free. We, if you wanted to roll that, how many tin head swagger do you have?
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
9. Missed it by 1. It would only still be a +1. Tough roll. Why don't you ask Greg or Laura to maybe make the roll for you?
I can use my spirited to get another +1.
You would use your spirited and get +2 to the roll as well. Do you want to try a +3? Or do you want to have Laura or Greg go first? And then if you need to, you can be that final roll.
Does this thing have defensive modifier?
No.
Oh, okay.
The table itself is the defensive modifier. These are damn hard rolls.
I guess I'm gonna go ahead and go for it.
Okay, give me 2 dice +3. You need to get a 15 or better with your sparks odor free to get the tin heads to open that door for you. Laura, should we put you on the chopping block here? Do you have Ab-Zero cryonics?
I do, but it's not locked as glorious. I have an A and a J that are locked as glorious.
Let's look at J really quick. You have recombinant.
I have vice grips.
Vice grips. How many EE suit as opposed to how many funky powers do you have? You want the one that's got more.
Yeah,
total.
More funky powers, but I don't have A, H, or J locked as glorious.
It's up to you then, whether or not you're going to risk them for the roll or not. If the answer is not, then just go ahead and pick one of the other ones, and we'll count up your modifier.
Well, I have 6 EE suit.
6 EE suit is a +1.
And then I have 2 J's. Do we have the...
The ship is intruder free.
Okay, so then I'd have 3 J's.
So it would be +2 for intruder free and recombinant. You're using your locked as glorious vice grips to just pry this door open. You have a total of 6, which gives you +1 more. That's a total of +3. 2 dice +3 if you wish. You can use your spirited trait if you wish and get the fury.
2 dice +3. I'm rolling for... What is it, difficult?
No, you need like a 16.
Oh, it's nearly impossible?
Yeah, it's a calculated table. You're using a swaggering technique. You're using which?
The worst that can happen is you're knocked out.
Which swagger are you using? A
J.
Vice grips, J.
J. So you need a 16 to.
Okay, I've got a plus.
Laura, are you using your spirited to get the Fury Pip?
I was looking at what my trait bonuses are. I think I get, let's see, spirited. I'm not high enough for Catbird. Yeah, sure, I'll use the spirited.
Plus 5 your dice. 2 dice plus 5. I've seen you roll huge. Go ahead.
6 and 5 is an 11. Laura is pinned.
Laura's pinned. Greg.
And Edie.
Pick. Do you have A, J,
I have one.
or H?
Okay. I have ordnance under A. I have nothing under J. And man, I got nothing under H. It's all A. And I
All
got
right,
6
let's go
functions,
across.
so
How many A swaggering total do you have?
A total, just 1.
Okay, you don't have under warranty. You don't have grenadier. You don't have pheromones, right?
Nope.
Okay, you get plus 1 because we're zilch leans. How many EE suit do you have, Greg?
6.
6.
Which is another plus 1.
2 dice plus 2. Are you spirited?
I'm not spirited, am I? I am not spirited. No, I'm just durable and fierce.
Give me 2 dice plus 2.
Hold up. Before Greg rolls, I don't think we brought this one up yet. With Fierce, he does have the option of gaining a Fury Pip by sacrificing a swagger.
Well, we can take off hull integrity, and you can ram the ship into this thing.
Does the Fury Pip give me an extra point or an extra die?
Extra 2.
Extra 2.
Extra 2 points?
Yeah.
Correct.
Is that worth it?
Plus 4. Go ahead, for Greg.
If you're feeling lucky.
All righty. 10, 11, 12, plus 4.
It's the worst you could
plus
probably
4.
roll, because not only did you miss it, you lost the swaggering of ordnance.
Yep.
Well,
All right, so we are stuck outside of this door.
What was
and
my target to make it?
We cannot get in to undo the mess that we've created. We have tried twice. First to do it civil, and second time to do it by force, and neither one was successful.
C is a fail, so we're on plan C.
Sometimes you just got to admit that Pluto Drive-In is going to be a place that the Honorable J.W.Walker is not going to be in charge of. All right,
just got to create a big diversion and get away at this point.
You're correct.
What was the roll I needed to make?
You needed a 15 or a 16.
Yeah, you needed a 16 total on your dice, Greg, because you did not have the one that we would roll for a 15 for the victory. So we're going to go ahead and try to escape. Let's go ahead and we're in the final 15 minutes. We'll go ahead and see if we can do a ship escape roll, and then Laura can trip us out of here. And let's see, the defensive modifier for a planetary system trying to destroy us. Evade, escape, bad guy. I think we should probably do a -2 defensive modifier and a target number of 2 to get away. All our good deeds are coming back to haunt us, I guess. It all started with with Fred saying we're doing so well, getting so many swaggering all the way along.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Defensive modifier of 2. I am not inventive, so I can't cancel that. This is the last Q&D of the game, so anyone who wishes to cancel that defensive modifier with their inventive, that might not be a bad choice. It is a collective Q&D, and I have flipped to 9. Do you have escape, Mike, on your table, or I need to cut and paste?
The flea bet would be perform independent calculations?
Yes. Go ahead and read it, Mike.
Perform independent calculations to double-check the tactical expert system. Success for Fury Pip. Condition, skill, core recon. Difficulty 10, advantage, funky neural shock. And I do have core recon.
Okay, let's go around the table. We'll start with Mike. Mike, you have core recon. Go ahead and
recon, and I have neural shock.
Go ahead and try to see if you can get that Fury Pip.
Sure. Fury.
Have you used your Fury Pip yet, Mike? For your Spirited?
No, I have not. So I think I will just go ahead and activate my Spirited and make that a double Fury Pip to reduce the target number.
That's correct. That's what I was getting at. Thanks, Mike. And we'll go ahead and we'll go on to Greg. Greg, do you have core recon as a skill?
Wow, these are awesome.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Okay, so give me a roll of a 10, and you get to pick up suit. Suit. I don't have that in front of me. Does anyone know what suit is right off the bat?
Sonic feedback.
Sonic feedback.
Yeah, I missed.
No sonic feedback for Greg. Fred, do you have core recon?
Is that a skill or
A skill, yes.
These are awesome.
recon? Nope.
And Tony, do you have core recon?
I do.
Okay. Do you have which is sonic feedback? I guess I'm being told.
I do not, or neural shock.
You may pick up. But you don't. You're a cruise. You don't get funky powers. On a roll of a 10, you get. You have your sonic feedback, I believe.
Yeah, we are -2, right?
And you pick up your Fury Pip. Yes, you are -2. It'll be a 12.
Okay, 12. Let's go for that.
12 and 2 dice.
It didn't go. There you go. All right, and I failed.
And over to me. There is an O. No, there's no MACE sanction, no assembly. I do not have. Do I have an O to cover? I have. Yes, I have Linux inspired to get the Fury Pip. I should probably try to roll 3 dice and get a 12. That would be prudent. Let me roll 3 dice and try to get a 12. And I have the Fury Pip going forward in this battle. Did we do Laura yet or not? Laura, do you have core recon?
I do.
All I heard was I.
I do.
Go ahead and give me a roll, please. Do you have funky neural shock? I think you do, right? You used it in the last battle.
Yes.
Is it locked as glorious?
So if I do 2 dice, can I pick up a different O?
If you roll the 2 dice and make the 12, you would lock it as glorious or lose it.
No. I have that one. If I roll 2 dice, can I pick up a different one, or should I just go ahead and roll the 3 dice? Do we need the...
We need this to happen.
Funky power neural shock. If you already have it locked as glorious, your only option really is to roll 3 dice and get a 12 and get the Fury Pip.
Alright, I'll go for the Fury Pip then. Got it.
Now, Laura's got the Fury Pip. The next card flip we get. Laura, you can go ahead and read it for us. It is a 4. We only have a defense modifier -2. Laura, you are inventive, though. You could have canceled that, right?
I already used my inventive.
Okay.
So I failed on. Enhance.
Can I use mine?
You have not yet. You may, Fred, for yourself. But go ahead, Laura. Read it out to us.
Enhance and amplify all emissions from the vessel, making the ship's silhouette appear more formidable. Success for tactics that, regardless, ship loses ship optimal power E.
We don't have one, so go ahead.
EE.
Who has EE suit false image, L or any L? We have prize cargo aboard that we're fighting for, so we all may make this roll. We'll start with Laura.
Oh.
Laura, do you have the skill Scam Artist, Streetwise?
No, I don't.
Give me a roll of a defensive modifier -2. Give me a roll of 11, please.
Nope. No quite.
Missed it by 1.
Wait a minute. The difficulty's 9. The modifier is 2, but she Fury Pipped, and that would be a 9 unless I'm missing another modifier.
Oh, right, I do have the Fury Pip.
I thought she failed on getting her Fury Pip.
No, I succeeded at that.
Okay, well then you made that roll, right, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we have the tactics pip. Mike, that'll apply after this round of rolls. Did you want to get double tactics pip and kill this last guy, Mike? Are you?
Of course I wanted to do that.
Are you at EE suit false image?
I have that at Glorious.
Give me a roll of an 11, please.
I got to do it on 2. Well, and then I'm Fury Pipped, so...
Give me a roll of a 9, please.
Nope.
Greg, Give me a roll of 11, please.
11. Alrighty. Nope.
Fred, give me a roll of 11, please.
Are we
Now,
gonna go to
what am I
plan E?
rolling for?
You're rolling to get the tactics pip and end this battle by having
All right,
double
I'm gonna
tactics
I
pip.
do the thing to cancel the modifier.
You can. You need a roll of a 9 on 2 dice then, or you can make
And,
rolls.
I'm going to use Chick Cartel from L list.
You can, or price cargo, either or. Yes, but that's how we got the conditions. So I still need that roll of a 9.
I'll leave there. So just a 9 on 2 dice. Got it.
Okay, we're out of this battle and out of this game for the moment. Unfortunately, we failed a mission, but, you know, it happens. Final ignoble checks. I will pick, wow, gosh, my choices would be ugly here. I could either doubt my commander. It's certainly nothing cunning about it. There was no forethought or plan for judgment, and I won't check notoriety for a failure. So I have no ignobles to check. Anyone else around the table?
I'd like to check adventure.
Yeah, you can.
We did a
Beyond
lot of
here.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take venture.
Adventure.
Problem is, I'm looking for ambition. This is not ambition. I need the other half of a judgment somewhere, but, you know, my good plan didn't go anywhere, and like Red, I don't want to take fame for a failure, so...
Have you tried typing Hamlet?